Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. Today is a really exciting day because it is officially day 1 of my 25 days of Christmas. So if you haven't heard, I will be posting a video for the first 25 days of December leading up to Christmas. So a new project every single day. So I'm super excited. Make sure you come back and you are following along. Because I will be doing some giveaways and just have tons of fun projects. So make sure you are also keeping up with me on social media. So on following me on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any of these amazing projects. And as always, you can purchase all of these supplies that I'm talking about 24/7 just by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. So let's go ahead and jump into today's project. So this is project number 1. I really wanted to start this off by showing you a way you can use some things that you may already have at home in your collection and turn it into a winter, even a Christmas, holiday, whatever kind of card. I am a big advocate for using what you have. And it may not always seem like that because I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of different products, but that's because this is part of my business. And so for the normal consumer, you probably don't have 50 plus stamp sets, right? And hundreds of pieces of cardstock and designer series paper and all of that. So you can very easily take something like this Floral Essence stamp set that we're going to be using today that is very much... when you first look at this, you probably think spring and summer and that kind of stuff. And you can turn it into very easily turn it into a winter card. And that's where I really wanted to start today. So I really love this project. I'm super excited about it. And let's go ahead and jump into making it. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put this card. We'll put it over there. So the first thing that I want to do is, what do I want to do? Let's just do our stamping. Let's get all of our stamping done. So I don't know why I'm pretending like it matters that it's on the right side. Anyway, so we are going to be using this two pieces of Whisper White here. So I have this piece, which is cut at 3.5 by 4 3/4, and then this is just a scrap that's large enough to cut out that circle that we're going to be using. So let's start with let's start with our background piece. So I'm going to set this little piece off to the side just for a second. So I'm using Balmy Blue. And what is this? Misty Moonlight are the two colors that I'm going to be using. So there's this really pretty flower, and this is there are a couple flowers in this stamp set, and you could absolutely use any of them. I'm using this one that just has an outline because I wanted a really like sketchy, fun kind of look. And I'm going to be using this with my Balmy Blue ink. And I'm just going to stamp it all over. Now, what you could do, which would be really fun, is you could do like two-tone stamping. So you could stamp it off first and then stamp it on, and you could get like a couple of different colors of flowers. That would be really pretty. But I'm just going to go with Balmy Blue as my focal all over this piece here. And remember, when you're making your own backgrounds, you always want to make sure you're rotating your stamps, turning it, making sure that you get all those edges. I like to kind of hold it up and see, is there any edge that I think I didn't totally get? Like, I don't like this big blank space here, but we're now going to go in with this little guy here, and it's actually the center of this flower here. Oh, you know what? We need to do this in Balmy Blue first. So we're going to take the center of the flower first and do these centers in Balmy Blue for all of the flowers that we just stamped. And then I'm going to use this little circle guy again, and I'm not worrying about really cleaning my stamp because my Misty Moonlight is darker than my Balmy Blue, so it shouldn't be an issue. But I'm going to take the same little circle here in my Misty Moonlight, and I'm just going to go in and like these areas that I don't like that are super full, I'm just going to add some dots in here. And I'm going to go over the flowers. I'm not going to be too particular about making sure that I only put the dots in like blank space. I'm not really concerned about it. I'm just kind of putting them all over where I think they'll look good for some added color contrast and just to kind of spice it up a bit. So again, I'm going to lift it up and kind of look at it and think, where do I want something else? And I think I'm missing something right about there. Maybe up there a bit. I think that looks pretty darn good. Okay, so perfect. I'm going to leave that. That's going to be it. So that is our background piece. I'm going to set that off to the side just for a few minutes. And then I'm going to bring in this other little piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to stamp our sentiment. This sentiment says, all days are beautiful that begin with you. And I think this is just a really nice sentiment. You don't have to use it. Like, it doesn't necessarily go with like spring, right? Or summer or winter or anything like that. It's just a very nice kind of generic sentiment for really anybody. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp it right down in the center of my little piece of Whisper White here. Scooch that off to the side for just a second. Close out my ink pads so I don't get my fingers in them. And then we're going to be doing some die cutting. So I am also going to grab this piece of silver foil. I love this stuff. It's a fantastic. And I'm going to also grab my cut and emboss machine. I'm going to open this bad boy up and grab my stitch shape dies. So we are going to be using the two middle sizes, I believe. Let me double check. Yes, is that right? Yeah, yes, we are. So the two middle sizes of our stitch shapes here. These two in the middle. Okay, yes, great. So let me grab my platform. And so just to show you, if you are not super familiar with how to build your sandwich in your cut and emboss machine, you're going to do your number 1 plate, and this is for die cutting. You're going to do your number 1 plate, your number 2 plate, a number 3 plate. What you're going to die cut on top, oops, just like that, and then your second number 3 plate on top. Okay. And the smaller of the two I'm using on the Whisper White piece to cut out our sentiment, and the larger I'm using on the silver foil. And then we're just going to crank these through. Super easy. Oops. And it folds right back up. Super convenient to kind of set off to the side. Okay. So now we have our sentiment, and we have that piece as well. Take those and set those off to the side also. And now it's just really putting this card together. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to take these, I'm going to scooch them off to the side for a minute. I'm going to grab this gray granite, what is this? I think it's like shimmer. Yes, gray granite shimmer ribbon. And here I will zoom in just a scoosh so you guys can see a little bit better what I'm doing. I'm going to grab just some regular old Scotch tape, and I'm going to be doing this cross kind of pattern here, okay? So, super, super easy to do. I'm going to grab a piece of Scotch tape. It doesn't have to be a big piece. I still have my ribbon connected to the spool. Now, if you wanted to, you could cut off a piece and then do the same technique if you feel like having it on the spool is a little too complicated. But for me, it's totally fine. It works pretty well. So I'm going to be doing a cross diagonally, right? So what I try to look for, I just kind of eyeball where I want that first diagonal line to go. And that looks probably good for me. So then I'm going to flip it over, and on the end here, I'm going to tape the end, okay? And then I'm going to wrap it around. You're going to go straight across the back. Then you're going to come up and you're going to go diagonally up, and you want to meet that end up there. So you want it to be kind of like a straight line from this side to this side. Fold it on the back. Grab another little piece of Scotch tape. Stick that down just like that. I'm going to grab my snips, snip it off. And then you have this sweet little diagonal. You could make it, or the sweet little crisscross. You could make the pieces wider. You could do it smaller. I was going to say shorter, and then I said smaller, so it became smaller. You could make it shorter, smaller. You could do straight lines across. That would be really pretty also. I just liked this kind of cross to mix it up a little bit. I think it looks really cool. So I'm going to now flip this guy over. And I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal Plus. I've just been loving the Plus recently more than our regular Stampin' Seal. I've just been doing a lot more kind of complex projects with different textures and stuff, so I think I've been grabbing this more. But because we have this ribbon here on the back, you want an adhesive that's going to be really, really, really sticky. And so that's primarily why I'm using this for this piece. And then since I'm already using it, I'm just going to use it for the rest of my project as well. So, and a lot of people say if you're going to ribbon on a piece, you need to put it up with dimensionals. You absolutely can. I find that you can get pieces to lay really nice and flat and pretty, even though there's ribbon on it. So it's just, I think a lot of it is personal preference. So now we have a piece of our silver foil paper here. This is cut at 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. And as always, all of these specifics on paper sizes and whatnot will be in the coordinating blog post, which is the first link in the description box below. So I'm going to mat it on that piece of silver there. And it's hard to tell right now, but it just gives such a nice, really pretty edge to it. It's gorgeous. So now we're going to flip this piece over. Put some more adhesive on the back of it. And then I'm going to grab this piece of our balmy blue glimmer paper, and I'm going to put this on here. So stinking gorgeous. And this card is really, really breathtaking. I think with the silver and the glimmer paper, it's just so pretty. And that's one of the reasons that I think I like it so much. It's because it's so simple and so easy, but it's so breathtaking, and it's definitely eye-catching. People notice this card, like I said, because of the silver and the glimmer. It's just gorgeous. So now I want to look and see which way I want to orient my card. And I'm going to do it this way. This is Smoky Slate cardstock we are using as our card base here. Line it up right there, just like that. Then we're going to come in with our two little circles here. So I'm going to take the white circle and I'm going to put just a little bit of adhesive on the back of this and stick it down onto our silver piece. Okay. Flip that over. Put some dimensionals on the back of this. Got really quiet because I was concentrating. And then I'm going to center this right here in the middle of our little X that we created with that ribbon. And let's fold it in half. Give it a really nice score. And that is our card for today, you guys. So pretty. So easy to do also. Like, I'm not even kidding. You could take this card and make it really easily with any color combination. You could turn this, instead of using blues, you could use red and green and make it into a Christmas card. You could use the same concept for somebody that just has a birthday coming up and their favorite color is pink. You could do pinks or purples or greens or whatever, but it's a really easy way that you can kind of take a very kind of like floral, something that you would automatically think of like spring and summer, and turn it and transition it into a different season. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this project. As always, you can find all of the products that I've been talking to you about 24/7 just by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. As I was saying, all of the specifics on this project are in the coordinating blog post, which is the first link in the description box below, or you can just go to littlemooncreation.com to see all of the fun stuff that I have over there on my website. And be back tomorrow for day number 2 of my 25 days of Christmas. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!